Good morning. This video lecture is for class 7 subject English. This lesson is being taken from your textbook An Alien Hand chapter 8 The Bear Story. This is lecture 1. We are going to complete the entire lesson in one lecture only. So now let's quickly get into the story. The first slide, it has contents, the contents that we are going to cover in this video lecture. The first one is the introduction of the story, further explanation of the story, summary of the story, then classwork, followed by the homework. It's mandatory to do the homework. Okay. The bear story, with the name or with the title of the story, only you can understand that it's about a bear, right? So the story revolves around a bear, and normally the bears are really very dangerous. They can attack you, but this bear, he was very friendly and he was very good. He was very amiable. Amiable means he was very good, he was very friendly, and he always used to behave in a very pleasant manner. So I'll quickly introduce you to the story, the bear story. Introduction. The lady in the manor house had a bear as pet. So she has a bear as pet. It was a most friendly bear who loved vegetables, apples and honey. So there are bears which actually depend on animals, yes, but this bear was very friendly. He liked vegetables, he liked apples, he liked honey. He roamed freely during the day but was put on the chain at night. He used to roam freely during the day, but he used to be chained at night. Okay, so the lady in the manor house, she used to chain the bear at night, and in the morning he was left free to roam about in the place, roam about and enjoy the place. Next. The lady visited her sister every Sunday, leaving the bear on the chain the whole afternoon. So she used to chain the bear on Sundays because she used to go to her sister's place the whole afternoon. The entire afternoon she used to chain the bear. Next. One Sunday, while walking through the dense forest, she found him following her. What happened one Sunday? One Sunday, while she was going to her sister's place, she found that the bear was following her. Next, she was so angry with the disobedient bear that she hit him on the nose with her umbrella. But the bear was really friendly. Okay, so now basically when she was going to her sister's place on Sunday, then she found that the bear was following her, and she was very angry, very annoyed that she was carrying an umbrella along with her. She had hit the bear with that umbrella very hard. Moving to the story. This was introduction. This is what is going to happen in the story. So we'll quickly start with the story. The bear story. There was once a lady who lived in an old manor house on the border of a big forest. This lady had a pet bear she was very fond of. It had been found in the forest, half dead of hunger, so small and helpless that it had to be brought up on the bottle by the lady and the old cook. This was several years ago, and now it had grown up to be a big bear, so big and strong that he could have slain a cow and carried it away between his two paws if he had wanted to, but he did not want to. He was a most amiable bear who did not dream of harming anybody, man or beast. He used to sit outside his kennel and look with his small intelligent eye. most amiably at the cattle grazing in the field nearby. So basically, there was an old lady who had kept a pet as a bear. Basically, she found the bear in the forest who was half dead of hunger, means he was starving for food. So small and helpless. He was very small. Of course, you know, when a baby is born, he's so small that the lady had to brought up on the bottle, means she kept the bear on the bottle and by the old cook. And after several years, that bear had grown up to be a big bear, like a normal big bear. He was very big. The bear was very big and strong, that he could slain a cow. Slain a cow means that he could kill a cow in a violent way. Okay, slain is to kill someone in a violent way. So he was so big and strong that he could kill anyone, and he can carry them between his two paws if he wanted to, but he did not want to. He was the most amiable bear. I told you the meaning of the word amiable means having or displaying a friendly and pleasant manner. So he was very amiable, he was very friendly with all the other animals. He used to enjoy with them, he used to have food with them, and he used to play with them on the trees. He used to flung himself on the branches of the tree. He used to enjoy with them. Okay, so that's what they are saying here, that he used to sit outside his kennel and look with his small intelligent eyes most amicably. Okay, and at the cattle grazing in the field nearby. So he used to enjoy all these things. He used to sit by his kennel and he used to sit there quietly and enjoy all these things. Moving to the next slide. The three shaggy mountain ponies in the stable knew him well and did not mind in the least when he shuffled into the stable with his mistress. The children used to ride on his back and had more than once been found asleep in his kennel between his two paws. The three dogs loved to play all sorts of games with him, pull his ears and his stumps off a tail and tease him in every way, but he did not mind it in the least. He had never tasted meat. He ate the same food as the dogs and often out of the same plate: bread, porridge, potato, cabbage, turnip. He had a fine appetite, and his friend the cook saw to it that he got his fill. Bears are vegetarians if they have a chance, and fruit is what they like best. In the autumn, he used to sit and look with wistful eye at the ripening apples in the orchard, and in his young days he had been sometimes unable to resist the temptation to climb the tree and help himself to a handful of them. So basically he was very good. Even the ponies, they are the small form of a horse, you can say. Okay, so ponies are a type of horse only. Yeah, so there were three ponies there in the stable, and they never used to mind the bear coming to the stable because he was not that dangerous. They did not find the bear to be dangerous. So that's what they are saying, that the three shaggy mountain ponies in the stable knew him well and did not mind in the least when he shuffled into the stable. When he shuffled into the stable means when he used to come in the stable, when he used to come with his mistress in the table, they never used to mind. The children always used to love and they used to ride on the bear's back. Many have found the baby sleeping. Okay, they have found the baby sleeping in the paws, between the paws of the bear. So bear was very good, he was very friendly, he was not at all dangerous as usually the bears are. Okay, the three dogs loved to play all sorts of games with him. So they were animals dog, they used to love and play games with him. Normally the bears are non-vegetarian, but he was completely vegetarian. He also have used to have bread, porridge, potato, cabbage, turnip, and he had a fine appetite. Fine appetite means he had a fine diet. Okay, so that's what they are saying. And he loved fruits. He loved fruits. In the autumn, he used to sit and look with wistful eyes at the ripening apples in the orchard. He used to enjoy seeing those apples, and in his young days he had been sometimes unable to resist the temptation to climb the tree. And when he was young, now he had got a bit more husky, but when he was young, when he was able to climb up the tree, he used to climb up the tree and he used to pull the apples and he used to eat them. So they are saying that he was very he used to enjoy eating fruits a lot. He loves fruit a lot. So in his young days he had been sometimes unable to resist the temptation to climb the tree and help himself to a handful of them, and he used to get those handful of them. Moving to the next slide. Bears look clumsy and slow in their movement. They're very slow and clumsy. They walk very slowly. But try a bear with an apple tree and you will soon find out that he can easily beat any schoolboy at that game. Now he had learned that it was against the law, but he kept his small eye wide open for any apple that fell to the ground. There had also been some difficulties about the beehives. He had been punished for this by being put on the chain for 2 days with a bleeding nose, and he had never done it again. Otherwise, he was never put on the chain except for the night, and quite rightly so. For a bear like a dog is apt to get somewhat ill-tempered if kept on the chain. And no wonder. Okay, so basically bears look clumsy and slow in their movement, but if you keep an apple tree, then they will be really very fast. Okay, they're saying here you will find soon that he can easily beat any schoolboy at that game. They'll quickly climb up the tree and they'll quickly eat up all the apples. So now he had learned that it was against the law, but he kept his small eyes wide open for any apples that fell to the ground. So basically now he had grown a bit, bulky. He couldn't climb a tree further. So he used to always keep his eyes wide open. He used to keep his eyes wide open when any apple fell to the ground. Okay, there had also been some difficulties about the beehives, and he even loved honey. And there was a beehive there, and he had climbed and he had broke that beehive. So he was punished for that, and he was chained for 2 days with a bleeding nose, and he had never done it again. So basically, when he was punished for that, he had climbed up to the beehive, he had broken that. So he was punished after that. So he never repeated that mistake again. So otherwise he was never put on the chain. So he was never put on the chain except that punishment, and except for the night, and quite rightly so. For a bear like a dog is apt to get somewhat ill-tempered if kept on the chain, and no wonder. So basically he was kept in a chain for that punishment, and at night and on Sundays. Okay, moving next. He was also put on the chain on Sundays, as I told you, when his mistress went to spend the afternoon with her sister, married sister, who lived in a solitary house on the other side of the mountain lake. A good hour's walk through the dense forest. It was not supposed to be good for him to wander about in the forest. With all its temptations, it was better to be on the safe side. He was also a bad sailor and had once taken such a fright at a sudden gust of wind that he had upset the boat, and he and his mistress had to swim to the shore. Now he knew quite well what it meant when his mistress put him on the chain on Sundays, with a friendly tap on his head and the promise of an apple on her return. If he had been good during her absence, he was sorry but resigned like a good dog when his mistress tells him he cannot come with her for a walk. So basically, when she used to go for every Sundays to meet her sister, she used to always chain the bear and go. it was not very good to travel with the bear, because as you people know, the bear's weight is a lot. So she tried taking the bear for a walk, but what happened was that he was also a bad sailor. He couldn't sail in that river. What happened was a boat broke into two pieces, okay, when they had climbed the boat. So when that broke into two pieces, they couldn't, you know, float to the river. So the here the author is saying that he was also a bad sailor and had once taken such a fright at a sudden gust of wind that he had upset the boat, and he and his mistress had to swim to the shore. So basically with his weight, the boat got upset. It went upset up and down, and they had fallen from the boat and they had to swim from the shore, and he's not a good swimmer. So from that time the mistress never took him along with her to her sister's house, and she used to chain him. And she used to always promise him that when she's going to return back in the evening, she's going to give him an apple. So he used to always wait for that apple because he loved eating apples. So that's what they have said here, that he was sorry but resigned like a good dog when his mistress tells him that he cannot come with her for a walk. And he used to quickly sit down when his mistress said that no, you cannot come with me for a walk, right? Moving next. One Sunday, when the lady had chained him up as usual and was about halfway through the forest, she suddenly thought she heard the cracking of a tree branch on the winding footpath behind her. She looked back and was horrified to see the bear come along full speed. Bears look as if they move along quite slowly, but they shuffle along much faster than a trotting horse. In a minute he had joined her, panting and sniffing to take up his usual place, dog fashion at her heels. The lady was very angry. She was already late for her lunch. There was no time to take him back home. She did not want him to come with her. And besides, it was very naughty of him to have disobeyed her. She told him in her severest voice to go back at once, menacing him with her parasol. He stopped a moment and looked at her with his cunning eyes, but did not want to go back and kept on sniffing at her. So now basically here what happened, when the lady went to meet her sister that day, she found that the bear was following her. Okay, and she found that the bear was moving along with her, and she was very angry, and she asked him to go back to the house, and why is he following her. As she didn't have time to go back to the house and leave the bear again, because she was already late for the lunch, and she was very angry. She was saying go back, and the lady was very angry as she was already late, and she was saying him that go back. But she found the bear to be very naughty, and she said that you are disobeying me. She told him in her severest voice, means in the loudest of her voice, okay, that go back to the house. But the bear did not listen to her, and she was very angry, and she was continuously menacing him with her parasol. Menacing means she was continuously saying, menacing him with her parasol means with her umbrella. Parasol is an umbrella. That go back, go back. He stopped a moment and looked at her with his cunning eyes. Cunning means very bad eye, but did not want to go back, and kept on sniffing at her, and kept on following at her, sniffing at her, moving at the back of her. Now let's see what happens further. When the lady saw that he had even lost his new collar, she got still more angry and hit him on the nose with her parasol, so hard that it broke in two. He stopped again, shook his head, and opened his big mouth several times as if he wanted to say something. Then he turned round and began to shuffle back the way he had come. stopping now and then to look at the lady, till at last she lost sight of him. When the lady came home in the evening, the bear was sitting in his usual place outside his kennel, looking very sorry for himself. The lady was still very angry. So now what happened? The lady was very angry and she tried to sniff him with her sniff, or you can say she tried to menace her with the parasol. With sniff, menacing means moving her away with the if a normal an animal or dog comes in front of you, whatever you'll get a stick, right? You'll start menacing him with that. Please shoo, move away, move away. So that is what she was also doing. She was asking him to go back home with her umbrella. Parasol is an umbrella, and the lady got more angry when she found that he was not wearing that new collar which the lady had brought for him. She was even more angry, and then she hit him hard on the nose with her parasol. She got so angry that she just brought her umbrella and she just sniffed him at his neck, and so hard she actually hit him so hard that it broke into two. The nose broke into two pieces. He stopped again, shook his head. The bear stopped, he shook his head and opened his big mouth. He opened his big mouth several times as if he wanted to say something. Then he turned round and began to shuffle back the way. Began to shuffle back way means began to move back to his place. Now the lady lost the sight of him. She lost the sight of him. She couldn't find the bear anymore. And when the lady came home in the evening, she found the bear sitting in his usual place outside the kennel, looking very sorry for himself. The lady was still very angry. She was very angry at the bear. Moving next. She went up to him and began to scold him most severely and said he would have to be chained for 2 more days. So now she gave the punishment of chaining you for 2 more days. The old cook, who loved the bear as if he had been her son. So cook used to love the bear a lot as if he was her own son, rushed out from the kitchen very angry. Now she was very angry and she sprang on the mistress. What are you scolding him for, Mrs.? said the cook. He has been as good as gold the whole day. Bless him. He has been sitting here quite still on his haunches, as meek as an angel, looking the whole time towards the gate for you to come back. So now basically when she came, she was very angry and she was scolding the bear, and she had said that I will chain you for 2 more days. Then the old cook, she was watching everything from the kitchen. She came out, she rushed out and she was very angry. She said, what are you scolding the bear for? He has been good the whole day. Bless him. He has been sitting here on his haunches, means on his knees, on his haunches, as meek as an angel, as quiet as an angel, looking the whole time towards the gate for you to come back. He was completely looking towards the gate since the afternoon for you to come back. So there's one question. Do you think he was the same bear that the lady met in the forest and the bear which is there in her house? Think about it, okay? And we shall be discussing that in the online class, right? Moving next. Summary. So that was the story and it's been completed. Summary. Once there lived a lady on the border of a big forest. She found a bear cub in the forest. It was starving. It was quite helpless. The lady had to bring it up on the bottle. The cook helped her. After many years, it grew up to a big and strong bear. However, he was a most amiable bear. He harmed neither men nor beast. There were 3 mountain ponies in the stable. Even these ponies did not feel frightened when he walked into the stable. He also looked amicably at the cattle. The children used to ride on his back. They had also been found asleep in his kennel between his 2 paws. The 3 Lapland dogs loved to play with him. They pulled his ears and teased him in every way. He did not mind it at all. The bear ate the same food as the dogs. He ate bread, porridge, potatoes, cabbage, and turnips. He had a good appetite. He used to see with wistful eyes at the apples in the orchard. He was not allowed to climb the tree and eat them. He had also been taught not to touch the beehive. He was once put on the chain for 2 days when he had touched the beehives. Otherwise, he was chained only at night, like a dog. A bear also does not like to be chained. Okay. The lady visited her sister every Sunday. This sister lived on the other side of the mountain lake. It was not safe to go with the bear through the forest. So on the Sundays, the bear was on chain the whole afternoon. Okay, next. One Sunday, while walking through the dense forest, she found the bear following her. The lady was very angry. There was no time to take him back home. She did not even want him to come with her. She told him in her hardest tone to go back. She threatened him with her parasol. The bear did not seem to want to obey her. Then the lady saw that the bear had even lost his new collar. She hit the bear with her parasol so hard that it broke into two. The bear stopped and opened his mouth several times as if wanting to say something. Then he turned round and went back. However, he stopped now and then to look back at the lady. At last, she lost sight of him. The lady came back home in the evening. She found the bear looking very sorry for himself. It was so because he had been sitting there the whole day, sitting in the same position. He had been waiting for the lady. The lady was still very angry. She began to scold the bear. She said that he would be chained for 2 more days as punishment. The old cook heard the lady and rushed out from the kitchen. She loved the bear as her own son. She asked the lady to bless him instead of scolding him. The bear, she said, had been sitting there all day as meek as an angel. It was then that the lady realized she had met another bear in the forest. Okay, so this was the story. There was another bear in the story which the lady assumed to be her bear, and she scolded him and she even hit him with her parasol. So now move next. Classwork. Where did the lady find the bear cub? How did she bring it up? Next. The bear grew up, but he was a most amiable bear. Give 3 examples to prove this. What did the bear eat? There were 2 things he was not allowed to do. What were they? Next, that's your homework. It's mandatory to do the homework. First one, when was the bear tied up with a chain? Why? What happened on one Sunday when the lady was going to her sister's house? What did the lady do? What was the bear's reaction? Third, why was the bear looking sorry for himself in the evening? Why did the cook get angry with her mistress? So you have to do these question answers in your fair notebook. Is this okay with everyone? Right. Thank you. Have a nice day. I hope you people have enjoyed the story, the bear story. I will meet you all in the online class. Kindly go through the story once and be ready with your doubts. Thank you. Take care.